Well, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's visit to Japan has certainly not gone unnoticed by Beijing. It's all about military posturing. It's all about strategic areas of interest both in the Pacific Ocean and in the Indian Ocean, and that's where India is critical both for China and for Japan, but for very different reasons. Let's take a look at what the Chinese media, how they've reported the visit of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to Tokyo. The Global Times China says Japan's wishful thinking of encircling China is just an illusion. Japan does not have the strength to prevail over China's influence in Asia. Now, just a couple of days back, there was another newspaper, the People's Daily China, also a mouthpiece, which said that Japanese politicians are petty burglars for courting India. And the Global Times, once again, another quick reaction from this Japanese mouthpiece, this Chinese mouthpiece, which says it will take time for Japan to face the reality that once only great power in East Asia has to give way to China. All right, so that's how the Chinese media is reporting the visit of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to Tokyo. But let's look at the larger issue and see what this is all about. Why is China concerned about the visit of the Prime Minister to Japan? Here's why. China is the world's largest importer of oil, and it's this part of the world that affects its maritime sea lanes of communication. Two areas very important, the Straits of Malacca and the Straits of Hormuz. The Indian Navy is a very big player in this area, but China has been quite proactive in terms of ensuring that its areas of interest over here are well sorted out. But its primary concern now is not only India and other countries, but Japan. And there is a present dispute happening with the Senkaku Islands. But there are other areas where China has worked very hard to ensure that it has a presence. Hainan Island is where China is thought to have stationed its latest generation of ballistic missile submarine. So that is considered one of the areas which is the pearl in a string of area of interests which China has created in this area. The Paracel Islands and the Spratly Islands are areas of interest for China now for the last 2 decades. And Woody Island in the Paracel chain has an upgraded Chinese airstrip. It demonstrates their presence over there. And they've also got a large military formation over there on this particular island. But let's move into some of the other areas. Now, Sri Lanka, just to our south, Hambantota port is being financed by the Chinese. Now, will this eventually be used for basing rights of Chinese warships? That's something that concerns India. At the moment, there aren't indicators, but clearly the Chinese have a presence over there, and they continue to pump in a great deal of money into Sri Lanka. The Gwadar port, of immediate concern to the Indian Navy, because it is an alternative for the Pakistan Navy as well to Karachi port, and it is also an area where the Chinese have access to the Straits of Hormuz, and they get a road link directly to the Karakoram highway, a road link from close to the Straits of Hormuz all the way up to China. It's a deep water port of immense strategic interest. But that's not all. As far as these Chinese pearls in a string are concerned, there are some other areas as well. The Maldives, again, just to our south, India's equation with Maldives have changed in recent times. Are the Chinese looking to set up a submarine base over here? What about the port of Sudan, or Port Sudan? That's an area where the Chinese are working very closely to develop a train line between Khartoum and Port Sudan. And lower down in Tanzania, the Chinese are building the Bagamoyo port. So once again, the Chinese strategically encircling India in a particular area. The big question, is India in a position to respond? In some senses, yes, but has enough been done? Well, does India actually have a plan in countering the Chinese in this area? Is this all, in a sense, hype? I mean, is it really a military threat to us, or is it more about posturing at the stage? And how important is this equation with Japan? Joining us now, former Foreign Secretary Lalit Man Singh. Thanks very much for being with us. And the strategic affairs expert, Raja Mohan. Thank you both very much for being with us. Mr. Man Singh, does it strike you as being somewhat unusual, the manner in which the Chinese have reacted to the visit of our Prime Minister to Tokyo?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, because by what you have just shown, we should be nervous about what China is doing in our region.
It appears that China might be nervous about us.
Why should China be nervous? Because we have always asserted the right of all nations to free lanes in the sea. And we respect that. We want the law of the sea to be affirmed. So China has no reasons to be nervous about it. And in any case, so far as Japan is concerned, our new relationship with Japan started way back in the year 2000. And we've seen in recent years almost annual meetings at the Prime Minister's level and at different levels. So why should they be so excited about this particular visit? I'm not quite sure.